This video is going to give you an overview of how to navigate the submitter interface of Submittable and the functions that are available to you. Once you are logged into Submittable, this is the home screen that you will come to. On the top, you will see 4 tabs, including Submissions, Discover, Saved, and Following. The Submissions tab is the homepage we're looking at here, which we will get into more later. The Discover tab shows all public opportunities that have been posted onto Submittable that you can browse. The Saved tab is where any opportunities that you have saved from that Discover tab will show up. And then the Following tab will show any of the organizations that you would like to follow. Moving back over to the Submissions tab, here you'll see all of the applications or forms you have submitted. So it'll show the status of each one here in the left column, the number or name of the submission, the organization it's been submitted to, the name of the opportunity or the form, and then the date that it has been submitted. If you have one of these little icons on the right-hand side, that means you have submitted other types of forms associated with this application, which we will go over later as well. The Drafts tab shows any and all drafts that you have started. Again, it shows the organization name, the name of the opportunity or the form, and then the due date of the application if there is one. If you wanted to continue working on one of these forms, you would hit the Continue button here. And if you wanted to delete it, you would hit the Delete button. The Collaborations tab shows any invitations that have been sent to you to collaborate on an application or a form. Submittable gives the administrators or the organization the opportunity to select collaboration on an application. And when someone begins filling out an application, they can send that invitation for another individual to simultaneously work on an application. Those invitations would show up on this tab. And then the External Submissions tab is more of an organizational tool for submitters to use. They are submitting applications that are not within Submittable. So if you click the Add External Submission button here, you can manually add in some of that information and just kind of keep track of what you have been applying for. Moving back over to the My Submissions tab, we're going to open up one of these submissions by clicking on the submission number or name. So here at the top, you will see it populates the name or the number of your application, the organization it was submitted to, and then the name of the form and the date and time it was submitted. And then also over on the right, we have the status of your application. If you wanted to download your application, you can click this download button here and it'll download a PDF copy to your computer. If you wanted to make any edits to your application, you can click this edit button here and type a brief message about why you would like to make some edits, and it'll submit a request to the administrators, and they can elect to either open up your form so you can make edits, or they can deny that request as well. If you wanted to withdraw your application for consideration, you'll just type a brief reason for why, and then by clicking the withdraw button here, it automatically withdraws your application. So this activity page here shows all of the activity that's been taken on your application, and it follows a linear timeline from bottom to top, starting with when the application was submitted. This page will show if you've submitted any other request forms, eligibility forms, any messages between you and the administrator, things to that nature, and it has the time and date for all of this as well. The Messages tab will show all of the messages sent between you and the administrator, and you can reply to any of those, or you can start a new message, and just like an email, you'll fill out the subject and the body, and you also have the option to attach any files if you needed to. Moving over to the Forums tab, this will show any of the forms that have been elected to show up with this application. Beginning with the eligibility form, this may appear if the organization decides that there needs to be a basis for eligibility for the funding. And as you'll see for this application, there wasn't one. And then the initial form is the actual application itself. You'll see the date it was submitted, and if you wanted to look at that application, you can click this little down arrow here, and it'll populate all of the information that you can scroll through. Additional forms are utilized if the organization needs some additional information from the applicants, but you'll see this one didn't have one. And then finally, request forms are forms that will always remain on this submitter interface and are available to submit at any point. And then it sends an automatic message to the administrators that a form has been submitted. You'll see examples like this amendment request form or request for reimbursement. Those sorts of things are what request forms could be used for. And then this box here shows all of the request forms that have been submitted and the date and then the status of those forms. Then the Notes tab is just a place for submitters to write any notes to themselves. This is only viewable to the submitters and cannot be seen by the administrators. And finally, the Awards and Payments tab is where you would see any transactions if you had to pay an application fee, for example, or if the organization utilized this to make payments out for grants. But for all intents and purposes, the NMDA does not utilize this function of Submittable and can be ignored. That about covers every part of the submitter interface of Submittable. If you ever have any questions about how to utilize Submittable, you can always contact your grant administrator at the NMDA. Thank you.